G'day folks, and thank you so much for joining me. If this is the very first time you've ever joined us on the channel, make sure that you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and while you're there, hit the like button. For those of you who are returning, you may remember in our last video we were doing some comparisons on the difference between stock tyres and drift tyre compounds in Forza Horizon 5. As you can sort of see just up in the corners here that yes, the drift tyres, whilst very hard to control, are good for standard cars and cars with very little modifications in them. However, even something like the 240, which I did mention in the last video I would be testing after we finished, the stock tyres, which are very slippery compared to most cars, are still far better to use with anything that's got any real sort of modifications and power upgrades, because otherwise those drift tyres are just far too slippery. In any case, we've got a lot to get into today because we've actually had a bit of a delivery in the last couple of days. So I'm actually going to take you outside before we jump back into the gaming side of things and show you what it is. Okay, so for any of you that have actually been following me for a little while, you would remember that in the past I have taken quite a lot of road trips, which I haven't been able to do for a while due to my ute sort of shitting an EGR valve, which exhaust gas recirculation. Apparently it's just to keep the hippies in line. Actually, it makes the thing run not as good as it could. So I'm actually in the process of getting a bypass to get the motor back on the road, see where we go from there. But as you can see, the beast is back. And I can tell you what, it's nice to have it back, even though the battery's been completely drained. So we've got absolutely nothing on the inside. No power seats, no nothing, but even just sitting up in here, Jesus, it's nice to be back inside the rig. So with any luck, we're going to have this bad boy going again in the next week or two. Otherwise, it could be a couple months. But as mentioned in another previous video, all roads lead to Summernats 35. So it's about getting my race car, so the SS, back to where its former glory. It's actually going to be in more glory than it's ever been whilst in with me. And of course getting this bad boy back on the road so that, well, we can actually do what I bought this thing for, which is towing and road tripping. Anyway, let's get back to the gaming because it's cold as shit outside and windy as hell, and to be honest, it's quite miserable. So let's go somewhere where it's warm and a little bit more pleasant. Okay, so now we're back inside where it's warm and not getting blown around in a gale because, well, like I said, it's just typical miserable Victorian winter weather out there. And you know what? At least for now, I can do my drift practicing, which is pretty much what I've been trying to do with my simulator, which, well, at the moment isn't much of a simulator. For now, it's just a steering wheel and, well, an eBay handbrake. Now, I have actually had to make some modifications, and what I'll do is we'll quickly flick you across. So as you can see here, I've actually added in this little bit of timber just here, not to mention just down the bottom here, just that little plate, so we can get the e-brake on there nice and sturdy. Whoops, probably shouldn't turn that on while I'm trying to do a recording. And we've at least made a bit of a setup. There we go, so we've managed to flick it back around. This is so much easier when I do have a camera crew with me. In any case, now I have tried a few different ways to set this up to make it a little bit more how it will be within the car, so a bit more lifelike. And you know what, I feel like I'm starting to get somewhere. So look, fingers crossed things go well, and there is another Friday night Keep It Reet drift event up at Calder Park in the Thunderdome, which is on the 19th of August from memory. And with any luck, I'd love to be able to get the SS there, but first things first, have to get that ute back on the road because, well, can't really do much if I can't tow the race car there. Not to mention there's a couple of little niggly bits that I do need to get on that race car done so that when I do hit the track, it actually performs how it should. That's hoping, if I do manage to make it, that the motor doesn't go kaboom. Alrighty, so what I'm really trying to do essentially is to go from a noob using a controller that looks like this, happens to actually have the drifting skills of this, to then actually go to someone using a steering wheel who looks like this. With the results looking like this. Now, as you can see, huge improvement, and I can tell you right now that when I started off using the steering wheel, I was terrible. I was an embarrassment, and even with the controller, I was still mediocre. Now, I'm far from a great, but I can tell you what, in the last few months that I've been mucking around with this, my skills with the controller haven't really improved because I've been using this most of the time, and my skills on this have actually improved a great deal to the point where now I've been going around the map on different drift zones. Sorry about that. Looks like my GoPro is playing up, bit like most of the things around me at the moment. Must be that time of year. In any case, if any of my Xbox online friends do ever watch any of these videos, please go through Forza 5 and set some new records, because I would love the challenge of actually trying to see if I can best them again with the steering wheel. In any case, before this shuts off, I'm going to quickly sign out for a minute, see if we can fix the problem, then we can jump right back into the rest of it. While I'm doing that, I'll leave you guys with some footage of some of the drifting I've been doing over the last week or so. Okay, so as you can see there, definitely been having a fair crack at this drifting, and to be honest, been having a hell of a lot of fun while I've been doing it. Now, as it turns out, the Hot Wheels Expedition has just opened up on Forza 5, so I'm going to be giving that a crack, especially with some of my guests that will be joining me as of tomorrow, being that tomorrow for me is one of the most important days of the year. and I can't really say why that is at this point in time, but hopefully soon I can. In any case, what I would like to share with you guys just before I take off is something serious, ironically, about the TV show Lucifer. Yes. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about the show, so maybe turn it off right now if you don't want anything ruined. However, if you're watching this, chances are you've probably watched Lucifer because it is a cracking show. Now, in the last couple of episodes, there's a real talk about the hell loops that they have in the TV show and how it's controlled by your own guilt. It made me think, when I get to the end of my life, what will I have in my life that I would feel guilty about? And sort of watching what one of the characters, Dan, feels guilty about, it made me think, well, you know what? I've done pretty well in a lot of areas of my life. There are some areas that I wish I could do better. And the areas that I really wish I could do better is just living. You see, I used to be a carefree, happy-go-lucky, devil-may-care kind of guy. Now, I have allowed certain influences to change that about who I am, because after all, we as people control our own happiness. It's a choice that we make. And for those of you who are saying, no, but this has happened and that's happened, well, that's true. But the thing is that in life, pain is inevitable. It's the suffering that's optional. So shit's going to happen. It's your choice on whether or not you let it mess you up. And for the last few years, I've definitely allowed some very toxic, nasty people to mess me up. So as a pledge to myself, and to those that I'm actually trying to inspire, I am going to endeavor to actually go back to being the carefree, happy-go-lucky human being that I used to be, which, as it turns out, will actually infuriate the people that have taken that away from me. So, double bonus right there. So, in saying that, I'm actually going to sign off right now because I'm actually itching to find out what this Hot Wheels expansion is all about in Forza 5. So if you're actually around and you want to give it a shot, like I've mentioned before, jump online, find me. I'm the ADHD Dad, spaces in between, and come join convoys or whatever it is that you guys want to do. In any case, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, smash that like button. I'll see you guys very soon, hopefully with some more news. I actually have some new toys coming in the next few days to hopefully get the big rig going. Fingers crossed, not to mention one of the best mechanics in Australia actually giving me a hand. And if you don't think this person's a great mechanic, it's because you just don't know how good they are. So hopefully we can get them to join us too. In any case, I'm going to go have some fun playing video games because man, child and all. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.